And a pleasant good afternoon or good evening, I should say, to you, and especially you. I am Rufus Bill, and welcome to Talking To. It's the weekly um, show that does deals with human interest stories, and we're glad to be here every week, every Sunday, 7 o'clock p.m. Facebook Live, and on YouTube. It is a beautiful day. A beautiful day. It started off kind of cloudy and rainy, but fortunately, the sun has peeked out, and we're glad that it did because we were spoiled for a couple of weeks, maybe about a month and a half ago, with all that great weather and the beautiful sun and the warmth, and then it just went away. But I think now it's back. And speaking of being back, we have the lovely Joanne Tolson-Fuller. And we say, welcome back,
Thank
Joanne.
you, thank you, thank you.
How are you
I'm
today?
doing good. I'm doing good. Enjoying the sunshine.
I
Weather is
know
beautiful. Oh my goodness.
it's very beautiful.
I'm so ready for summer.
Are you ready for
I'm
summer?
ready.
I'm
I
ready
love
too.
it.
I am ready too. I know
Hmm.
that I did get a couple of phone calls or text from some of our listeners about the transition of your aunt. You
Yeah.
had to go back to California a couple of weeks ago.
Yes. Sudden transition. I had just gotten off the phone with her,
Had you
and not even an
really?
hour later. Yeah.
What?
Yes, it was that sudden. Hmm.
Oh
And thank
wow.
God my brother was there because he was helping her do some gardening, some work in her
Was
garden.
he?
And so thank God he was there because she lives by herself. She's by
Right.
herself. Yeah. So
And she was living like in the suburbs of LA
she
or further
lives
out.
in it's called Mission Viejo.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like between LA and San
San
Diego. I think it's a
Diego.
little closer to San Diego, like
Hmm.
in kind of in the mountains a little bit. Yeah,
Okay.
beautiful place. Beautiful.
Wow. We're
Hmm.
so sorry to hear about that
Thank you,
transition.
thank you, thank you.
Definitely.
It was a
Definitely.
hard one. This is a hard
I
one.
can imagine. Because you had just been out there
In February,
yeah, in February.
celebrating her 83rd birthday.
Right.
Yep, in
Isn't that
February.
something?
Yeah,
Life
yep.
is
I,
is is full of surprises
one
and
day at a
twists,
time. That's
turns,
right.
one day at a time.
One day at a time.
Definitely. But
Hmm.
we're glad that everything went well
Thank
and
you.
that you're back home safely and you were greatly missed. Even though that we weren't on the show at the time, doing the show because we were on break,
Hmm.
but you were missed, and a
Thank
couple of
you.
people had asked about you.
It's glad to be home.
Yes.
I'm glad. I'm glad. There's no place like home.
No place like home. Isn't that something? You can go anywhere, and it's just something about when you see your house after being away, and you're pulling up in the driveway or in the front. You're like, oh my God, I'm home. Well, I can get like that just going to work. I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm home. But you know what? Home is your reprieve.
Yes, it
It's
is.
your safe space. It's your, if you need to be a quiet space, a
Exactly.
relaxing space. It's just that comfort zone. It's that,
Yes.
yeah.
Your
Well, for most of
refuge.
us, let me put it
Right.
that
For
way.
most of us, going into our home is very peaceful
Hmm.
and inviting. And
Yes,
if
yes.
yours isn't, you better try to get it. Get it that way.
Find it,
You better
find the spot.
find it. Oh man, oh man. So
Yes, yes.
I was tell everybody that Justin was is working today, and he will be back in 2 weeks because we'll be off for Mother's Day, and then the three come the three what is that,
Amigos.
Migos. I don't know why Rascals was coming up in my head. I'm the only rascal with a three.
Cause,
But
I
we'll be
want to talk
back.
about somebody, but
Right. we, we'll be back in 2 weeks after today. And
yeah.
the gang will
I got
all
to
be
see
back.
him and his family last night. His wife in a play at his church.
Oh, did you go
Yeah.
see the play
Yes, it was
with
wonderful.
Taylor?
Yes, it was Taylor Griffin.
Really?
It was wonderful.
Now tell us what the play was about.
It was about a mother's love, and actually, she wrote it. It was inspired by her own life.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, it was emotional. It was really good. It had you laughing,
Okay.
cry for a minute. It really you want to hit somebody over the head for 1 minute.
All right.
But no, it took you through all the emotions,
Okay.
and but it was really well written. The music, she wrote all the songs herself.
Did she?
Yes, I mean, and my niece Courtney she was like the lead role,
Oh.
and so it was really really good. It was, and I'm not, some might say, "Oh, you prejudiced because your niece was the lead, and then you love Taylor. Taylor when she was a baby. I've known her since she was a tot,
That
and
is
so, but
unreal.
no, it was really well. It was really really well written. It was a
Now
good play.
Taylor is affiliated with is it the Seventh Day Adventist Church on the west side here?
I think
Center?
she
Detroit Center?
is. I want to say Detroit Center. I think it
Okay.
is. Yeah, and then she's also Triumphs on their. I'm
Praise
not sure
team?
if she's the minister of music, but I know
Mhm.
she's on their praise team and everything.
Is she really? Isn't that something?
Yeah. So yeah. So she is the minister of music, and I think an elder at her church at
Really?
at Detroit Center. Yeah, I
Okay.
think.
I'm gonna have to go over there one Sabbath
hmm
and join them in worship.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what is so interesting now, as we both grew up Seventh Day Adventists, very rare, or at least did we know about, would someone go and serve on Sundays in another denomination and
hmm
be part of their worship service. And I think that's just so cool how that has changed,
Yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes.
because
Yep, I love it.
I love it, especially if you're into music and you're
hmm
rendering that type of service, it should not just be boxed
And
for
it's a
one
ministry,
particular.
though. It's a
It's a
ministry.
ministry.
Like my dad used to say, you have the spoken word, but then you have the word through music.
Hmm.
It's ministry. My mom used to play for AME.
Did she
She used to
really?
play for. She used to play for. She was the minister of music at the Old Burns years ago,
Okay.
and she used to play for AME Church on Sunday.
Oh
hmm
wow, Sister Tolson, that's all
Yeah,
right. That is
yeah.
all right. We have so many gifts and so many talents, and some of us don't even know all of the talents that we have, and it's just so important to be able to exercise them
That's so true.
whenever and wherever we can. So
And
that
it's true. You better use them or you lose them.
or you lose them.
Or you lose them, or you just, because to me, they're gifts from God.
Yes, they are.
And He's given everybody at least one.
At
At
least one.
least one.
At
So
least one.
use it. Use it. Use it.
And whenever we have a conversation about talent, I always think about the Bible scripture with that man with the person who took that one talent because it was so
And hid
special and hid it.
it. Hid it.
And he said, I hid this for you.
No, that's
He
not
said,
what
you
that's
didn't
not
hide
what
it
you were
for
supposed
me.
to do.
Under the
Supposed to take
wrong
that one and use it.
and use it. And
Use
it
it.
possibly could multiply.
Yes, and that's so true. You just don't know
Hmm.
where a talent will take you. You never
Exactly.
know. Never know.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
true.
I recently was involved in a upcoming documentary about a musician here in the city of Detroit.
Mm.
And so when they called me to do it, and I was thinking, oh, I mean, the person knows so many people, and what can I add, and what will my part add to the documentary? And then I thought about the guy or the person with the one talent who buried it. And I said, well, this might be an opportunity for anything. not
That's
just for him or for me, or someone might see me that said, "Oh my God, we didn't know what happened to him." You
Mm-hmm.
know,
You
and
never
so
know.
you just never know. You never know. I went to a birthday appreciation last Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and it was celebrating a musician, Gregory Troy, and who's from Detroit, and he turned 70.
Okay.
And he's played for like the Craig brothers and other gospel artists here in the city, and even across the country. And when I got there, I saw so many people that I had forgotten I knew, because it had been so long since I really had been in that kind of environment. On
Okay.
the afternoon, Sunday afternoon service
Mm-hmm.
at a musical, and as I've shared with you, I don't usually go to musicals and things of that nature. But when I found out it was Gregory's, I said, well, let me go, because this is a very good guy, very humble guy,
Mm-hmm.
and extremely, extremely talented. I even thought I might see Maestro Gerald Curley,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't see him. At least I didn't see him before I left.
Okay.
I had them on a time limit.
This is
I
how much
see
time.
you.
Look, this
You
is how
get
much time you
two
give me
hours,
today.
4 to 6.
Look, we passed those states. I remember them Sunday musicals when you be there. They supposed to start at 3 and they start at 4:35, and then you still there at 8 o'clock.
Were you there last week? Because I had an attitude. I said, you come in here with an attitude. 4:10, 4:20, 4:20. I said, okay. I'm leaving at
Ooh,
6.
ooh, we waiting on so and so. We waiting on. Okay.
Yeah, and I remember that. We waiting on our musician. Really? You all
We
don't
got
have one
fast
acapella
five.
song?
Oh my goodness. Mhm.
Oh, that is
I'm
so funny.
telling you.
So today, Joanne,
Uh-huh.
I went to Home Depot, to the one on Kelly Road, 8 Mile.
Uh-huh.
And so, I have a vision in mind of what I was going to do for flowers and things this year. And excuse this light. Now, when I tested this, the sun was not shining like this. This is the second week in a
Good.
row, and I know sure people will say, "What is going on with his light?" I don't know.
That's your
It's
glow.
right. Okay, that's what's going on. God's glow.
That's your glow.
They say, "Yeah, please shower him." But I went to Home Depot and I'm looking around at the flowers, and they didn't have anything. I mean, they had something, but like the they had more tropical flowers,
Okay.
plants,
Yeah.
or prearranged pots, but
Hmm.
not a lot of just the flats. And then the
Yeah,
flats
not
that they
yet.
did had, excuse me, they looked like they were from last year. And I said, I know they didn't
And they
freeze
want full
these.
price for
Right, they wanted full price. I said, well, maybe I'm gonna have to go in another area
them.
where where they
Maybe another
value their
store.
customer more.
But
Where they
it's still
love
kind of
their
early yet.
customers.
It's still kind of
Well,
early.
that's what I thought too. I said,
Yeah.
well, it
You know,
is just the
yeah,
beginning of May, so maybe they
yeah.
haven't got all their shipments
It's
or
still
anything
kind of
like that.
early, and we got spoiled because I was ready to get out there when we got that 80-degree
At
weather,
80,
remember,
yes.
and 70s, and I was like, oh, it's time to get outside. And as soon as I get ready to get
Not
outside, we got snow. Went
right.
back down to
It snowed,
30.
it hailed.
For real.
Your little flowers would have been through.
Done. I'm so glad I didn't even take the ones that are inside that I take inside, that I didn't
Okay.
take them outside, because
Oh
they would have
yeah,
been messed up.
they would
They
have been
would have
terrible.
been messed up.
Yes, there'd
So
probably been
yeah,
no
it's still
recovery.
kind of, but like I think Sunday, Mother's Day, I think it's when they usually have like the first flower day at Eastern
Yes,
Market.
yes, it is.
Yeah, and then the next one it will be in June. I think it's either the first or second Sunday or weekend in June.
Oh,
So they usually have like two big flower days, and Mother's Day I think is usually the first one.
now see, I didn't know they had two. I was only familiar with that one.
Yeah, and then there's
Okay,
another one that usually happens in June.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I'm gonna try to wait for well, that's only Sunday. Like
Just
a
a few
wait for Monday.
days,
It's only a
just
week
7 days.
away.
But
Like
hey,
it's three
look,
months
in
away.
Michigan, a whole lot can happen in
Now you
7 days.
know in a week. A
A whole lot
lot.
can happen in 7 minutes.
Right. Not just 7 days.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Listen, if you're just joining us, it's Talking To with Joanne Tolson-Fuller and myself, Rufus Bill. Justin is away at work today, but he will rejoin us the week after Mother's Day. You can get involved in the conversation by just going to your comment section and typing in a comment. Say, "Hey, y'all, how you doing?" Or share something interesting that you are doing today, or that you have plans to do during the week. Maybe you have some special Mother's Day plans, but you can definitely you can chime in and let us know. You can also make sure you like and share Talking To with some of your friends and some of your people on your social media platforms. We would greatly appreciate that because we have a great show and
Yeah.
we definitely want people to know about it and definitely have people to get involved uh, with the show. And that's for sure. That's for sure.
For
So,
sure. For sure.
did you attend church yesterday?
I did. I
Okay.
did. Yeah. Yeah. It was a good service.
Okay.
This was my first um church service, because I buried my aunt last Saturday. So yesterday
Right.
was really hard for me. It was really hard.
Really.
Yeah. It was, yeah. So but it was a good service. It was good.
You know, it's
Hmm.
something that how you have to learn how to readjust your emotions and
Yes.
your whole life.
Whew.
It's a life altering
Yes,
experience.
it is. Yes, it is. And
And
even though they're not suffering, and
right,
actually they're in a better place because they don't have to go through all this crap we're going through,
exactly.
but still it's that, you first of all, the sudden death, and then, just missing being able to call and talk to, going to visit, so all of that is done. All of that
Hmm.
is, yeah. So it was a hard day, and when I woke up, I wasn't going to go to church, and I thought, you need to go. You need
Okay,
to go.
right.
I'm glad I did. I'm glad I
Good.
did, but it was one of those days. It's like, all right, I'm not. I don't like breaking down in front of nobody.
I know. That would be a no.
You have to squelch. I had to
Yes, you
squelch it
do.
like all service, and then didn't have the nerve to sing, and it was like, oh, but it was okay.
It was
We
good.
made it through.
You made
God,
it through.
God helped us make it through. Yep.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
I remember when my mother was going through her transition, and I was sitting talking with the doctors, and they were talking to me, and I was just listening for the most part. And so after she had, the services and everything were complete, I got a phone call from the hospital, and they were trying to get me to become like an advocate for people who may be experiencing the transition of their loved one, and to be,
Hmm.
of a listening ear, and to talk with them. I said, really? I said, I'm not the person for that.
They must have seen something in you, though.
Well, what they saw is not me falling apart when they was telling me what was going on. So it took everything within me to hold my stomach and to just listen and like you said, just not fall apart. And I told them, I said, no, you might want to get someone
No,
else
thank you.
because
Thank
you
you,
all
but
will
no, thank
fire
you.
me. They said, get him out the room. But yeah, having to deal with your emotions and having to be able to go on can be very challenging.
It is. It
It
is.
can be
Yeah.
very challenging.
Yeah.
So, have you seen anybody on the riverfront riding bikes yet?
I have not been down there yet. In
Really?
fact, I'm going to take my bike down this week and just
Okay.
make sure it's good because I have to get back on it. I have to this summer. So,
Yes.
but there've been people riding in my neighborhood. They're riding. Friends who been
Okay.
riding. I'm like, look, they've been riding since like March, and I'm like,
Really?
and then they wanted me to go riding with them. I'm like, can I build it up?
Please.
Look, I'm
The
going to
after
start
winter build up.
because y'all be gone and I'll still be huffing and puffing. I'm like,
Y'all go on.
or I'll be
And
here when you get back.
wait, and just turn your bike around. And when they pull back up, what took y'all so long? That
Hmm.
is too
Yeah, but
funny.
no, I've seen a lot of people riding though, and I'm
Hmm.
ready to get outside. I am. Yes.
I um I incorporated or reincorporated um the gym starting last Sunday. I started,
Hmm.
and last Sunday I ended. I said, "You mean to tell me you couldn't go one day during the week?"
You could go. I'm getting ready
I
to start
know.
back. I'm getting ready to start back. Well, I was gonna say tomorrow, but I'd have to do it tomorrow. And I start working like 8 tomorrow morning. But I'm starting back this week in the
Me
gym for
too.
real. I am not because
I had convinced myself, well, you don't do it after you get off. Do it in the morning.
yes.
And I said, yeah. And then when the morning came, I said, you could do it in the afternoon. And then I looked up, it was Friday.
Hey.
But the fortunate thing about all that is my food intake um, was still monitored.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
so I stay true to that. But,
That's good.
one with the other is all right. But two,
Both I need
yeah.
both. I need both of them. I know me. I need both. So
Yes, I do too.
hmm
We would also like to congratulate a dear friend of mine, um, Pastor Pam, and you've heard me talk about her. And
yes.
she started her first broadcast Friday evening on WCHB from 9 o'clock to 9:30, and she's doing something called Nuggets. And so it was her first show. She did very well. I have not talked with her because I haven't had a chance to talk with her,
Uh-huh.
but I'm anxious to hear how that experience was. Because doing what we do or being on radio and television can be very intimidating
Yes.
and
Yes.
overwhelming at times. Now, this type of medium that we use, you see us, but in the radio, you just have that microphone. And I don't know what it is about that microphone that it gets you nervous
Hmm.
and maybe discombobulated, and because that's all you see. And I guess maybe subconsciously you're thinking, but I'm talking to thousands and thousands of
Thousands of
people
people.
at one time.
But I'm talking to myself
Or
because there's nobody to
to,
respond. There's nobody.
right, exactly. But yes, she did start her broadcast,
Awesome. I have
and
to
so
check it
that's
out.
really good. That's really good. She I was involved with an internet radio station. I
Mm-hmm.
we had started, me and my business partner, years ago before streaming became popular.
Mm.
And I think was that before Facebook, or it might have been right at the beginning onset, maybe not Facebook, but what was that other, MySpace?
Oh.
Yes, that's going way back. And so we had our studio on Woodward, right there in Palmer Park, and Pastor Pam was was one of our guests then. And I knew at that point at some time she would branch off to broadcasting, either television or radio or both. and she has through social media and now with the radio station. So since she does not come on 7 o'clock on Sundays, we encourage everybody to go and listen to her on Friday.
Friday.
Now, if she was going to be the competition on Sunday, well, that'd be a horse of a different color.
For real, for real.
For real, for real. But we're excited for her, and so encouraging her and keep up the good work and the great work. So when is the last time, Joanne, that you drove around Detroit?
Oh, it's been actually to drive around just to see probably a couple months.
Couple
Easy.
months.
Yeah, it's easy.
What was the last thing that you saw that, or that you were shocked about, or that you didn't know was there?
Oh my goodness, driving down. Oh, what is that? Field. No,
Okay.
Charlevoix,
Okay.
that area. Because when we lived in Detroit, we lived right on the corner when I was little. We lived right on the corner of Field and Charlevoix, which is over there. I'm trying to think of that other main street. But the building and I'm trying to figure out what they're doing with the streets though, because it's like this. It looks like that it should be a trolley going down the center of the street.
Okay.
It's but oh my goodness, and then the businesses that are opening up over there, the little boutiques and the little coffee shops and it's like, oh, it's okay. I said this summer I'm gonna just park and just walk it and just see what it is. It's amazing. It's amazing. And even where I live off of Warren and Outer Drive, and what they're doing to the streets and the same thing, the little coffee shops, the little art shops, the little boutiques and men's boutiques and dance studios, and just all of that is just popping.
Right.
But we even have a farmer's market on Thursdays now. Off of Warren and Warren and Outer Drive. It's amazing.
A lot of happenings, a lot of changes, a lot of refreshing activities going on in the neighborhoods.
Yes.
I was in the neighborhood of Warren Avenue and West Warren, and driving up toward 96 and going toward the streets escape me, right, Grand River. And I was there were not any shops open, but just to see how all of those houses are gone.
Are gone.
They're gone.
Yes. I was looking at the bridge. I went to Downriver and was coming back, and I just realized where they're building that new bridge to Canada.
Okay. Yes.
Remember, all those were houses, and I remember the fight and all the they were trying to preserve and get those people out, and the people were fighting because they didn't want to sell their houses, and now it's just wow.
It's just new, just different.
And it's exciting.
And
on the other hand, we know that it's gentrification also.
It's gentrification.
We do know that. So it's like,
right.
It's exciting, and I'm excited for all these new businesses. But then I wonder, that's why I'm going to walk. And what's black owned and what's not.
What's not.
They have all these incentives, and we'll see one or two on TV where they give them this grant, this $10,000 grant or $20,000 grant. But I want to know who really
is benefiting.
Yes, yes, because a lot of these little apartments and condos and lofts, and a lot they say they're supposed to be affordable housing.
Right.
But can they really?
Can really afford it?
The average person really afford it?
That would be a no. And what is amazing for some of those apartments, that federally they have to have low income people in the apartment. But I've gone to some of the apartments, like the ones downtown, where some friends lived, and when they it was a smaller building, but everybody knows each other in the building. And all the people that I saw were not low income.
That's what I want to know. What is low
What's
income to
low
you?
income?
You
And
know,
where is the
because
list?
thank you. I want to
And how do
know.
you apply?
Because when I found out, I just found out not too long ago because I had to do some work um, for the church, and I just found out Michigan's the Michigan $10.10 is our minimum wage.
What?
$10.10. They tried to get it in January. They tried to get it up to 1375, I believe it was. I know it was
Hmm.
13 something. I think it was 1375. You know, they got voted down
They
to
did vote it down.
yeah, to raise our minimum wage to $13.75. So I bet you anything, low income don't mean that
Not that
$10.10.
$10.
I bet you
No.
anything that nobody that's making that, you'd have to
Hmm.
be working 80 hours a week plus
Plus,
to be able to afford the low income. So I want to know what your rate of low income, what that,
really is.
yes, I want to
And
know
we
what that
need to
is.
get somebody on the show so that they can talk about that
Mm-hmm.
uh, truthfully.
Yes.
Truthfully. You know, I meant to mention this last week, but I did not. And I see that Joe DeRico has chimed in today,
Hey,
Mr.
Joseph.
Bio. Joe DeRico is, well, how can I describe Joe? Joe is a very talented young guy, and he used at the first church that I played for. It was called Adams Chapel Baptist Church. It was on Chicago and Steele on the west side of Detroit. And
Mm.
Joe's family went to the church. His aunts and his mother Edith, and his two brothers. And Joe was tall for his age, and he was singing in the youth choir. And but I could tell that he had a desire to really want to work in the ministry of music. And so I went to him and asked him, and I asked his mom if he could, assist and direct the choir. And his mom, Edith, she was so excited. She was like, "Oh, yes, yes," because, that was during a period, I would say, right when youth were kind of just going off on their own, and there were a lot of
Mm-hmm.
temptations and things, like it always has. But his mom was very adamant about him being in church to occupy that time to keep him focused. And so, and he did it, and he did very well. I think he may have been 13,
Mm.
12, maybe. Could have been a little bit younger than that. And I don't know if he's still watching, but he could tell me the exact age. But anyway, he did that, and he went to his family left the church and they went to another church. And Joe called me on the phone. Now he might have been 15 by this point.
Uh-huh.
He had gone around in the neighborhoods of his new church, gathered up all these kids that were his age and even younger. It might have been 30 or 40 children that from word of mouth and people spreading it around. And I
Wow.
think they were having some kind of something at their church. And
Wow.
he put together this youth ensemble. And I went to see it. And let me backtrack. When I knew that he wanted to get into the ministry, music ministry, I took him and his brother, Craig, to a concert so he could see ministry in that kind of setting.
Mm-hmm.
Because church is one setting, but when you see it in a different setting, stage, lights,
Right,
everything,
right, right.
it gives you a whole different perspective. Now, fast forward, he got that group together, and an awesome concert. And I was sitting in the audience, and I was thinking, how, this little guy, a child, has pulled this off. So time goes on. He goes and he goes away, I think to Arizona to school and some other things and whatever, whatever. And then he comes back to Detroit. And he now at this point, he is like he's together, he is on it, he's mastering his craft.
Awesome.
And he put together a group called Latter Rain. So
Mm.
it's called Joe DeRico and Latter Rain. And I don't know if you've seen it on some of my seen him on some of the posts on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of years ago, he did his first live recording. Awesome. And then a couple of weeks ago, he did his second live recording. And I had the chance to go to that. And I just was amazed on everything, and since he started into the music ministry, he's become a maybe an elder or
Mm.
minister at his church, heavily involved. And it was just, it was just something to see. Like you saw Taylor
Mm-hmm.
last night, and you're just
Yes.
like, wow, I knew her when she was a child. And I'm thinking, I knew Joe when we both were children.
Oh. Speak on that, Joe. Let's see. That's all right. That's all right.
Some people just don't want to let it go, Joanne. but, but he had just, I don't know, it may have been 20 to 30 members of the group,
That's great.
young adults who are experiencing life where they are. And they came together, to record, but it was a dynamo
Awesome.
service. It was, and
Awesome.
they had a
Awesome.
part in there that had nothing to do with the recording. That
Mm-hmm.
one of the choir members' uh, son was experiencing some type of hardship in terms
Mm.
of just being young. And Joe had the church to pray for him, and I don't know if the young man was there or not, but the entire church, the entire choir, just to see how they rallied in, and how they were uplifting this young man, and telling him and being encouraging, and trying to, not trying but inspiring him that he's valued, he's
Mm-hmm.
loved, he's appreciated. And just to see that,
That's awesome.
that's just an awesome.
That is so awesome.
Yes, it
Yes, it is.
was. And you
Yes, yes,
know,
yes.
and being um being involved in that part of the arm of the church, sometimes people are not as sincere as
Right.
they appear.
That's true. That's true.
And for whatever reason, if you've had any experience in that, you kind of like, okay, what they doing?
Mm-hmm.
When I saw what was going on, and I literally, when I could feel what was going on, I said, wow, this guy has blossomed, and he's out there in the vineyard, and he's working, and he's serving, and he's offering
What a
Christ,
blessing.
to people, and
What a
that's,
blessing.
yeah, isn't that a blessing?
That is. It's such a blessing. And you know what? It's people think when you're on the outside looking in or you're in the audience looking up, you feel, you think, oh, this is easy. Well, that's easy what they
Hmm.
do. That's, and but you don't realize how much work goes in, how much of
Yes.
yourself goes into being a leader,
Hmm.
dealing with all those people, the musician, dealing with all the personalities and, the conflicts and the Oh my goodness. We don't
Hmm.
realize the work. And you
No,
have to me, you have to be sincere. You have to, this has to be a calling. It's a
it
gift.
has
It's
to
a
be.
calling for you to do that. I
Yeah.
really, because if like you said, if you faking the funk, if you faking it, it's not gonna
Exactly.
last long. It's not gonna
No,
last
it
long.
won't.
It's not.
It, it
But
really won't.
God gives those people the strength, the gifts, the talents, the patience, the understanding, the long suffering,
Oh,
the list can go on to do
yes,
that. He
to
really
do that.
does. He
Hmm.
really gives that.
And
Mm-mm.
and it's so a good thing that you brought that up because sometimes I wonder. I'll take myself, for instance. So when I was heavily into doing concerts and that whole part of arm of the ministry that goes with it,
Mm-hmm.
I never realized that God was enabling me or giving me patience and patience and understanding and like you said, long suffering to be able to deal with that because I
Mm-hmm.
can remember certain situations that would occur that could have gone the other way had not God intervened.
Right.
I remember this one instance. I was minister of music at a church, and they were preparing for their concert. And in their preparation, the musician brought in people to help the choir sing. Is that a good thing, bad thing? I don't know. It's just really up to whatever. But the church, the members of the choir were offended. And as the minister of music, they came to me and they expressed that. And they were really kind of holding me
Wow.
to the fire of what are you going to do? And so I went to that last rehearsal and I talked with the musician and I said, they're not really feeling this. Now, this
Mm.
musician, she had
Mm-hmm.
played for years and years. So she was my elder in terms of her experience and her knowledge. And she did not appreciate me telling her that.
Mm.
Now
Hmm.
this is their dress rehearsal. And so she made such a big stink about it that she had revved up some of the other members in the choir who were for the people coming in to assist. And so the choir member became very violent with me. Yes. She started cursing at me.
What?
Some of the things that she said, I could not believe. I really couldn't believe she said it. But I'm saying all that to say that God spared her because it was to the point, Joanne, that she was talking about going outside and fighting me.
What?
Yes, and it just so happened that it didn't occur. Someone came up and they was like, "No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that." And they were holding her. Now, I did slip a little bit. I said, "Let her go." I told you I'm the only rascal after three. I said, "Let her go,"
Hey,
and I turned my back to
you
her.
said bring it.
Bring it, because I'm a bring it. But it
Wow.
didn't escalate to that. But
Right.
but it was so good that I had worked long enough for God to put some patience with me,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just to just shrug it off, understanding the emotions that the people have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is the concert is here, and all of that is part of the ministry.
It is. It is. And sometimes, I don't know why you said she brought someone in to teach them to sing,
No,
or they
no,
weren't
she brought
singing
them
it.
to sing.
Oh,
So
to
she brought in
sing.
what do you call those people when you
Mm-hmm.
say it in? But anyway, they a couple of
They're the
sopranos, a
ones
couple
like
of
out front with
altos.
the mics,
Right.
I forget what that would, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. To enhance their singing.
Yeah.
but it's a church choir. So whatever they have. Because next Sunday when they come, those people, and this was my
they're not
argument,
gonna be
they're
there.
not going to be there. You know,
Yeah.
and God bless her. You know, are you watching? You know, I'm telling the truth. but
it
you
does.
know, I believe in working with your talent and selecting the best music that is going to be appropriate for their voices.
For their voice, and you have to know your group, and
you have to know your
you have to
group.
know your group. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, where I wouldn't bring somebody in to help them, where somebody else, and I don't say it's wrong or right.
Right.
That's just my philosophy. Well, this is the group. We're gonna work with this group.
Well,
And
even if you bring them in, don't bring them in 2 days before the concert.
that's what happened.
Because basically, what you're telling y'all sound hideous.
Y'all hideous.
Gotta go find
Don't y'all worry. I got the hook up. I got the hook up. And I'm going to hook it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as you said, people don't really understand or realize all of that is going on.
It's leadership. It's more than an ocean.
It's more than an ocean.
That's what one of my clients told me. She told me one time, she said, baby, don't you ever pray for patience.
Did she?
You pray for understanding. Because when you pray for patience, you have to go through it so that your patience builds up. You know, you have to go through the testing. So if you're praying for patience, then God's going to allow those tests to come your way so that you can build your stamina, your patience, you know, and all of that. She said, don't pray for patience, you pray for understanding. So, and I said, okay, there's a difference.
There is a difference.
There is a difference.
There is a difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny. I had gone out of town once, and I was with this particular church, and they were doing a concert. We were in Chicago, and so it was 2 musicians, 2 drummers, and the one musician taught his music, and then I had taught some songs, and that's how we, you know, put the concert together. Now it was time for us to switch off. He go to the piano, and I go on the organ. He didn't want to get up. Now this is in front of everybody, and he sat there, and so I was near the organ, but not that close, because I suspected some kind of hanky-panky shady stuff was going to go down.
So you read his attitude.
And I didn't want to be standing looking crazy, because, you know, I do not want to look crazy. And I don't want anybody else to look crazy, but especially me. I don't want to look crazy. So I'm standing there. Now this was the 11 a.m. worship service. So we're waiting for him to get up. It's dead air. Nobody is doing anything. And he's just there refusing to get up. The directors of the choir was like, let Rufus down. He was like, so maybe 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes. I don't know.
That's a long time, though.
That's a long time. He finally got up. As he walked by me, because I'm walking now toward the organ, because he has, you know, got up, and he said something like, or something like that.
Oh my goodness! See those spirits, I'm telling you.
Yes.
I
said, in another setting, sir, you would get a goop on your head.
And then people wonder why they don't get blessed.
Right.
They don't move any further than where they are. You know, they do. People wonder. But when you can't have attitudes and you're supposed to be, especially when you're supposed to be doing the Lord's work. It doesn't mean you're perfect. It does not mean you're perfect. It does not mean you don't get upset or uptight. But some I've seen some, trust me, and it's like, hey,
right.
Oh, you know, no wonder you're still right there.
Right there.
Right there. Mm-hmm. And have all the gifts, you know, the talents, But
everything.
man, you're not going nowhere because your attitude is
Stank.
punk. Funky attitude.
Definite, definite. And we really have to be conscious of that,
You too.
especially if it's in front of people who are just coming into church, or people that are in the choir that are just getting into the choir, may have
Yeah.
been in church for a while, but not in that particular vineyard of the church, and they
Right.
see us in these leadership roles
Yes.
acting unseemingly.
It's like, okay, what
Right.
Bible are you reading? What Jesus
What are
are
you
you
reading?
following? Like I said,
Exactly.
it doesn't mean we're perfect because if you look at the 12 disciples, you look
Hmm.
at them, Jesus had to chastise them how many times? But it doesn't mean that, but it just means that you're supposed to try and have a different type of spirit.
Yes.
Try and, be understanding and be sociable and be able to work with folks and, especially in the leadership.
Hmm.
You but some people want to take you there, and I understand that
Yes.
too. But yeah, yeah, I
And
don't
it can
know.
be very hard
Mhm, mhm.
and almost impossible at sometimes,
With some people, it's almost impossible, and I
but
sometimes I'd rather
such
sit
is
down
life.
and
But
lose my soul salvation.
fortunately, if you are in that particular ministry or whatever ministry you may be at your church, you let your patience rule,
Yes.
and let your sound judgment rule.
Mhm.
Um, because that's I think that is an awkward place to lose it,
Yeah.
especially is in church,
Yeah.
over with anger issues and things, and with people. The best resolve is to walk away, even when you don't want to.
Even when you don't want to.
Hmm.
Yeah, because but we know that also that's the enemy's job. He's doing his job,
Uh-huh. Always.
trying to stir it up. And if you in church and you trying
Right.
to
You
serve
don't
God
care.
and trying to serve the master and trying to do what you're supposed to do, he's gonna have somebody there,
He said, wait.
somebody that's gonna try
And,
to stir it up.
and we have to be careful that we're not the person he's using.
That's right. We have to be careful.
We have to,
Hmm.
because it just takes just a moment.
Yeah. So
Just
true.
takes
So true.
a moment, and you like, oh my Lord, where'd that come from? Officer, I didn't mean that.
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yeah.
so we definitely have to guard our emotions and guard our thoughts when
Yes.
dealing with other people.
Hmm.
Yes. So last time I saw you, Joanne Tolson, you recommended a restaurant to me, the Thai place.
Oh, did you like it?
I did like it. I
Yeah.
went. What's the name of it again? Yeah,
I
that's right. You couldn't remember, and I
all
don't remember to tell you, but
I know
you gave the
it's
exact
on Kirk
location.
Road
Kurt,
and right from at Trader Joe's,
right.
right on the corner.
Yes. And
Yeah,
I don't remember what it is that I had, but it was very good.
yeah, they're really
And
nice.
yes, great
Upscale Thai
service.
restaurant.
Yes, it
Mm-hmm.
is.
We're upscale because they don't open till 5.
I
Sometimes I
know.
want my food before 5.
And we trying to beat that 6 o'clock a deadline of eating.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm telling you.
But I'm not a Thai person, not because I didn't like it, just because I just never ate.
Okay.
I've had it once,
Okay.
and the key to Thai is the good restaurant, because
Yes.
you could go to a bad restaurant and then be turned
Ooh,
off
yes.
about it
Yes.
completely.
That's so
But
true.
mhm,
So true.
but
But yeah, they are really good.
they
Hmm.
are they're good. So, do you have any plans for Mother's Day?
I don't. I don't. It's been so hectic for me. So it would be nice just to relax.
Take a breath.
Seriously, just to take a
Mhm.
breath. I don't have to go out anywhere. Y'all they can bring me stuff.
How about that? Shower, mama, please. I'll say it again for you, Joanne. Shower mama.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm telling you. But yeah, I really don't. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
right now I'm really just want to woosah.
Right.
Now
Just
I
let
could go
those
get a
thoughts.
massage. Hint, hint.
Oh, that's always on time.
Look, hint, hint, hint. They better be
You heard it here,
watching.
folks.
They better be watching.
Oh, you know what, Joanne? Another thing that's happened since we've been together. So, my piano students,
Uh-huh.
I do this workshop from November to April, and then we end in April with a recital to show the parents what the students have done and what they've learned. And this year, I we had a tea.
I wish you had invited me.
I know.
No. I would
Oh
have had
my
a hat
God.
on and everything.
Right. And we did have a couple of people with their tea hats on.
Oh.
And so because of COVID when it was running rapid,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's still running rapid, but when it first hit, I began doing the recitals at the student's home
Okay.
because of getting those large groups together. And it worked out very well. And so this particular one was held at the one of my students, Emmanuel McAfee. And so I've been working with Emmanuel maybe since he was 10, so he's 16 now. And this was the first year. One of the things that we worked on was presentation during the workshop. So usually I have to be the one that will introduce the music and do all of that. But he did everything himself. He introduced his music. And there go Kathy.
Hey,
Hey,
Kathy.
Kathy. And
Hey,
hey,
cuz.
everybody.
Hey, cuz.
and he did it himself. He introduced himself. And what we worked on this season was Frederick Chopin. And he played two pieces from that. And I was very pleased with his performance.
Awesome.
And yeah, I said, well, look at Emmanuel, just a
Awesome.
blossoming pianist.
I saw the picture on Facebook. You had
Oh,
posted
okay.
the, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that is, how's it feel to have, people who are students and they just, you can see them growing and you can see them blossom. And then later on, I don't know how many students you've seen that have just moved on up, just,
Right.
doing their thing.
It's unbelievable. It really is because, you know, as a pianist, if you got a bad piano teacher, it's terrible. I'm an unorthodox teacher because I don't micromanage.
Okay.
I let my students, I never say you play the wrong note. I say that wasn't the intended note, and I'll let them figure it out for themselves. And that's my approach. But when I see them take the concept and be able to build upon it, I'm really in awe because I'm like, wow, they learned that from me.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
it's such a surreal feeling, and even when he was playing, I felt myself that I was getting ready to start crying, and I was like, because it's just that
I
impact,
taught him that. I taught him that.
right? When he doing right, no, but he's a great student. All of my students are great, but yeah, it's like wow. Just unbelievable. I see why women who decide on who they want the let me back this up. Single women who decide to go to sperm banks to choose fathers based on intelligence, whatever it is, characteristics that they want. So that hopefully that will transfer.
That gene will transfer.
Gene, thank you. Will
Hopefully,
transfer.
Well, and
Hopefully.
hopefully the one that you have is not gonna act
Not that 3 generations ago couldn't do nothing. You can't do nothing. But because
no, I'm just So I got you.
because
Yeah.
you just to see that you just in awe.
Wow.
You're
Wow.
definitely in awe. Definitely in awe.
That's great though. That
Yeah,
is so
I was very
good.
proud of
I
it.
know that it makes you proud too. It makes you
Yes.
I'm sure it does.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And his parents they had invited quite a few people, and they were just all like in the anticipation, and because they saw the flyer, so they knew what to expect in terms of
Uh-huh.
music, but to see the performance, they were very excited, and
That's great.
it went very, very
I can
well.
see them go from the beginning to who knows, you might be creating the next Joe Sample.
You never know.
You never
You
know.
just never know.
Never. And I can listen to him all day long,
Me
all
too.
night long. That Joe
Right.
Sample, man. But you never know,
Smooth.
Rufus. And then he
You
might be
don't.
somewhere talking about, I had a teacher back in the day. Back in the day. Mr. Bill, Mr. Bill. You just never know.
And I'll say then, I said I was just barely an adult.
Yeah, you walking with that cane.
With that and all that white. Yeah. I will share this, and I'm really out of time. Yesterday, when I went to the barber to get groomed, I told him, I said, I said, this beard, I'm gonna just try and just let you shape it, and I'm gonna see how this color works on me. And the barber says, well, if you want my advice, I said, say no more.
So you were gonna just trim it up, or you were gonna let
I
it
was
grow
gonna
out?
trim it, and just work with let it grow out full and all of that. Just to see, because I'm just very against it for reasons and because I just said that color is not really complimentary to my complexion. But I said, well, everybody's doing it, Rufus. You get on with the crowd.
You
You
never
never
know,
know.
You never know until you try it. You never
But
know,
I've
because
seen it.
there's some nice look. There's some nice mingles, some nice gray, some nice.
Nice white. he was like, mm-mm.
No, but I mean, to me, it's the keeping it shaped, keeping it nice.
That's the important.
And oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, maybe I might get some more nerve. You never know. You never know with me.
You never know. Oh, the name of the restaurant is TN Thai Bistro.
Oh.
TN Thai Bistro.
Yes. And that's Grosse Point, isn't it?
That's Grosse Point.
Yeah.
On Purchasable. Yeah.
I would encourage anybody
very
to
good
go
Thai
in there.
food.
Very good. Very good.
Now, did you get spicy?
I got the medium spicy.
Medium? Okay.
Which was spicy enough.
It's spicy enough.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes I get medium. Can y'all make it medium low? I might get medium for real. I might get medium when, like, if I feel like I'm coming down with a cold or something, or I feel I'll get the medium, maybe
open up those,
and it just it seems like it just, whew.
It does.
But yeah, it's for me, their medium is still too much.
Right.
For every day, for just normal. Mm-hmm.
But the way that they those vegetables that were in whatever it was I ordered, delicious. I said, man, if I could cook these like this,
oh my goodness,
I would be onto something.
Mm-hmm.
Literally onto something.
Yeah.
Well, Joanne, I'm so glad that you're back, and I'm
glad that
you are you're on the road to being back to the way that you want to be, and I know that it takes time, and God is going to grant you the desire of your heart.
He is.
This another phase, a chapter in your life.
Yes.
The time is 8:08, and we would like to say to everybody, let's see, Pam, Joseph, Dorico, Philip Green, and Erica Boyle, and Kathy Jenkins. Thank you for being involved in our broadcast today, and like and share to all those that care. Oh, maybe that's our tagline. Like and share to all
All
those.
those that care.
We'll be off next week for Mother's Day, but when we return, Justin will be back on the block and we'll be going full steam ahead.
Yes,
Anything you want to add, Joanne, before we go?
Yes, just have a wonderful, all you mothers out there and auntie mommies and, you know, the mommy friends, the god mommies, all of you all
Yes.
have a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day. God bless you. And just take it one day at a time.
That's all we
One
can
day at
do.
a time. That's it.
Yes, it
That's it.
is. All
Yep.
right, Joanne Tolson. Until the next
Yes,
time,
Rufus. Yes. Peace,
have a
peace,
great one.
peace.